Did they get these rankings right?
Hell no, there's some bull jive. There's some bull flitters and every other kind of bull. You know what I'm talking about, Skip Baylor.
I don't.
You do. This is some bull jive, Skip. You see what?
What is bull jive? I don't even know.
You know bull jive.
Means you're angry.
Skip. Just help me understand. You see, this is the problem, is that people can't get past. If you take Brady, B-R-A-D-Y, off the back of that jersey, and look at a guy that's 29th in completion percentage, 26th in yards per attempt, 19th in QBR, I thought we evaluate players on what they're doing, not what they've done. They can't let go of what he's done. That's his. He's done it. But there's no way anybody that's watching football today can say Tom Brady has played better this year than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers have the better completion percentage, better QBR, yards per attempt. My homeboy, Aaron Rodgers, is 22-2. 22 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. My homeboy, after missing 2 games, is 20-2. Tom Brady is 18-6 and played every game. This is some bull. You know I know some bull jive, Jenny? They got Baker Mayfield 17. If Baker Mayfield is anything past the 29th slot, it's some bull jive.
Yeah,
this is terrible. And they talk about, well, he's down because in the first 3 weeks he was the #1 rated. Okay. And this is where I get this. See, this is where I get him at, Jenny. Was Julian Edelman? Was he throwing to Julian in the first 3 weeks? Yeah. Jacoby Myers, Philip Dorsett? Yeah.
Okay.
The same guys he's throwing to now.
Wait, Josh Gordon? Yeah. Antonio Brown? Yeah.
No. He had, hold on.
Yeah.
Whoa, wait a minute. Whoa. He had Antonio Brown for one game.
Well, you asked in the first 3 weeks. You said, was he throwing? Throwing to Josh Gordon?
Miami, right?
By the way, Josh Gordon keeps catching balls for the Seahawks.
No.
I don't know what's happening.
Hey, y'all can use it. You can use it. So that's what you do. You move on. You moved on, Skip. You got Mohamed Sanu. You wanted Mohamed Sanu.
I didn't.
You did not.
Skip, at some point in time, we got to be fair and evaluate and judge Tom Brady on what he's doing. Not what he's accomplished, not the great comeback against Atlanta, not what he did in the AFC Championship game again. All that other stuff, Skip, that is there. That's finite, it's concrete. But you evaluate this man today, there's no way that he's outplayed Aaron Rodgers. There's no way he's outplayed my homeboy. Zero chance. I ain't got no problem with Dak. I think Dak might be a little higher. For the day, Dak, I'm going to get Dak some love. Dak balling. On pace to throw for over 5,000 yards. But for Tom Brady, you said Tom Brady, really? Tom Brady has played the 7th best quarterback position in the NFL this year. That is some bull diggity.
Interesting. You know what I love about this ranking?
What?
It's one of those rankings that's not subjective. It's off film breakdown. Deep second and third level breakdown of actual how did that throw work for that quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So I appreciate what you said about Dak Prescott because I completely agree. I'll go number 6. I would like to see him make a few more game-winning plays because I'm reminded.
Well, that's why he's not high.
Okay, well, he in his first 3 years in this league, he led the league in all that 3-year period in game-winning drives. He has none this year. That's the difference in 6-6 and what could be 10-2 for this team if you had closed the deal. So I do love what they said about him because they point out that he has set a career high with 907 yards on deep throws. That's 20-plus air yard throws. And that ranks 2nd in the National Football League. And their bottom line takeaway is Dak Prescott has improved as much as any quarterback in the league from last year.
And guess what? He's on pace to have the same record as he had his last year. So how much improvement has he done?
Okay. So now back to Tom Brady, and they point out once again, because it was their stats that broke this down, but he was rated #1 in the league after the first 3 games. Okay.
Tell what it means.
By the way, that was this year. It wasn't last year. It wasn't back in 2007. It was actually this year. 3 games. So that counts toward his overall ranking. He's dropped to middle of the pack since then. But that coincides with numerous miscommunications and inconsistency from a subpar supporting cast in New England. Subpar.
You see what they did?
They didn't do anything. They just spat a fact at you.
What about the quarterback is 42 and his legs and his ability to get out of harm's way?
Shannon Sharp, where do the New England Patriots rank in rushing? Can you say 24th? 24th in the league in rushing. Help me out. The New England tight ends as a group, there are 3 of them who have caught balls, but not very many.
Okay.
Where do they rank in catches as a whole group in the whole league among tight ends? Dead last.
Yes.
Dead last. The whole group has caught a grand total of 1 touchdown pass. The whole group.
Yes.
So you went from arguably, you might have a say in this, but arguably the greatest tight end in the history of the league, Rob Gronkowski. You went to a 3-headed lack of monster tight end group who is dead last in receptions. How can you function? How can you survive? How can you be all of a sudden? How do you get to be?
Okay, your point is duly noted. But why was everybody beating me up when I said Rob Gronkowski makes Tom Brady's job a lot easier? When Tom Brady won Super Bowls without Gronk. Now you begging for him to come out. You're trying to coax him out of retirement. But you see, Skip, what happens is that as we start to age, our ability to do things and make everybody else around us better starts to dissipate. So what they've done is they've made it all about the receivers. They don't want to admit Tom Brady is aging just like that Nat Geo when they do that film lapse and that flower, they plant the seed and all of a sudden over time lapse it starts to grow and it starts to bloom right before our eyes.
He's blooming.
Tom Brady is getting older and older.
Right before us,
He's getting older and older.
That's a new
No.
You know, every December he just blooms.
New era.
But let me ask you this, Skip. You talk about where they're rushing. Not one time did they mention anything about Sonny Michel last year. They talk about, did you see that comeback to Tom Brady? 3 3rd and 10. You didn't mention Sonny Michel. Had 3 touchdowns and he went over 100 yards. And you didn't mention that. But now Tom Brady is struggling because of age. And I tell people, Skip, the thing that starts to go as you age as an athlete is not the part that you use the most. Tom Brady's his shoulder. It's his legs. His legs. His legs is not the same. Now, you could dress it up all you...
He's never had any legs. What are you talking about? Seriously? Do you remember the 40 he ran at the combine?
Skip, I'm talking about
his legs?
No, I'm not saying, Skip, I'm not talking about his running. I'm talking about his ability to drive the ball consistently. Yes, great players, Skip. We always were great. And we can have that one game or that a few games or a few throws. But I'm talking about...
Are you saying he lost arm strength? Because I'd show you rockets. He's still throwing rockets.
Yeah.
They don't lose arm strength.
Skip,
Brett Favre can still throw rockets.
Skip, but Brett didn't have any legs. It's the legs. You don't throw with your arms, Skip. You throw with the... Why you think... What is Dak doing? When Dak is doing that viral video, what's he doing?
Where did he learn that?
Skip.
From my friend Tom House right here at USC in L.A., where Tom Brady goes every off season.
But what do you have to, Skip, in order to...
He is Tom House's #1 client.
I get that, Skip. But it's not about his leg because Dak is not doing this. He's doing that with his hips.
So is everybody.
It's his leg, Skip. But everybody isn't 42. That's my point.
Boy, he's throwing the ball just as well as he's ever thrown it. Unfortunately, the bulk of his targets have gone to little Julian Edelman and little James White. Go look at the targets. Way #1 and #2.
Are they the same targets that were started when he was at the top in the first 3 weeks? Was the target still going to James White and Julian Edelman?
No, there was Antonio Brown had a whole game of targets, and Josh Gordon got a whole bunch of targets.
Antonio Brown caught 5 passes. He caught 5 passes. You see, what you failed to tell the people, you said Tom Brady going into the last week was #1 in completions. But you didn't tell him he was #1 in pass attempts. That's like James Harden. James Harden has made more free throws than anybody in the NBA this year. He also has attempted more.
Yeah, but he's making 88%. That's a bad analogy.
Skip, no, Skip. Think about this. He has the most completions, but he's 29th in completion percentage. What kind of analysis is that?
Well, it's 10-2. Somehow they're 10-2. I don't know. The quarterback has some say.
Skip, how much does the Grand Marshal have to do with the parade? Because that's what Tom Brady is. When he's been asked to win a game, what has he done?
Boy, he almost won one.
No, Skip, I don't do no. I took that off my menu. I took QBR. I took almost because people and excuses because people couldn't coming in there. It's like, oh, do I take QBR today?
Well, you sure have been using. No. You sure have been throwing QBR at me this week. That's all I hear is QBR.
Because you love that stat. You love it, but yet when we talk about Tom Brady, you won't mention that he's 19. You love completion percentage until Tom Brady is 19 until 26.
Let's move on to your
29.
favorite quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Yes,
he is. Yes, he is. Yes, indeed.
In the last month, he had 2 of the most horrendous games of his career.
Okay.
Just horrendous, like embarrassment games at San Francisco and at LA Chargers.
Happened.
Yeah. He has now fallen, according to Pro Football Focus, to 27th in pro football in positively graded throws. That's horrendously bad. It's over for Aaron Rodgers. He's a shell of what he used to be.
Hold on, let me get this straight. Aaron Rodgers is a shell of himself.
Mm-hmm. What he used to be, or at least what you used to think he was.
What is Tom Brady then? I got his 18-6.
Well, that guy just won the Super Bowl. Last one I saw, Tom Brady won.
Hold on. You see what he did, Jenny? He won the Super Bowl. He didn't mention the MVP, Julian Edelman. He didn't mention Gronk. He didn't mention Sonny Michel in that running attack that led the league in
I
rushes.
told you Tom Brady should have been the MVP.
No,
of the
Tom,
Super Bowl.
stop it.
He
with a 26 QBR?
Did he lead the one scoring drive?
One scoring
Going
drive.
5 for 5?
Yeah. You're making my point. Jenny, what did I tell him? I said, you can have a drive here and there, but consistency
Real
throughout the
quick
course of the
points
game.
on your man, Patrick Mahomes. He now goes to Tom Brady on Sunday. His negatively graded throws have increased by 5.2%. That's the highest increase in the league this year.
How do we know they're negative? How do we know?
They graded him. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll trust him.
You see what it is? Now, see, when we want to paint the quarterback that fault, we say negative throws. But see, Tom Brady, we're going to make it about communication with the receivers. You see what he did there, Jenny? I can do it any kind of way you want to, Skip.
Do you have any idea how bad Patrick Mahomes would look if you gave him only Julian Edelman and James White as his two quote-unquote weapons behind a shaky offensive line that's even been shakier than his?
Do you know how bad Tom Brady would look if he had to play behind that Kansas City's defense?
Do you know what?
Do you know?
Do you realize what what Tom Brady would do with Kansas City's weapons? Because everywhere I look, there are nothing but weapons.
Do you know?
My God.
Skip.
Brady has 1/100th of the weapons that Mahomes has.
Think
1/100th.
Think about this. And the losses that he had last year, Mahomes